Hey y'all, welcome back. I'm back. Okay, I'm back. No, welcome back to the Brandy Yvonne channel. Of course, I'm your girl, Brandy Yvonne. Here on my channel, we do fun reviews, recaps, and discussions of all of our favorite shows. Y'all know I got to get situated here. This video, we are talking. Oh, sorry, y'all. This video, we are talking owns. Um, Love and Marriage Huntsville. This is season 8, episode 10, New Kids on the Cell Block. Before we get into this review, please do not forget to do all of the things. Subscribe to the channel, hit the like button, share where you like to share your content, and comment down below. Let me know what y'all thought of this particular episode. I know I've been gone for a minute, but I am back. I left last Thursday. I was out of town. Took my annual trip I always take every 4th of July. I like to go to Reno and eat and gamble, drink, okay, all those things, okay. Get me a Fat Tuesday. I was getting refills. I was doing all the things, okay. Had a good time. I always actually go by myself because it's my own little getaway, my own little tradition I've been doing since like 2020, and I thoroughly enjoy it. Usually I take the train. This year I flew, so that was cool. I'm definitely gonna fly every time from now on. Anywho, so yeah, that's what I've been going, y'all. Also, to be honest with y'all, I needed a little break from YouTube. I haven't been honestly even motivated to get on here for some reason lately. Just didn't feel like nothing was really going on with these shows. Like Little Marriage Huntsville has been giving everything it needs to give. It's picking up now. Like next week, I'm really excited for next week. But yeah, that wasn't picking up. The Family Empire show, I'm gonna get to it, y'all. I'm gonna get to it. Plus, I'm about to go back to school, as I was sharing with y'all in another video. So, just trying to restructure my life and make sure I get organized and prioritize. And so, I'm going to try, like I said, to continue doing YouTube. However, YouTube is not the business that pays me, so it's not at the top of my like to-do list. Okay, if I'm honest, it's not. But I want YouTube to remain like a fun thing for me, and I don't want it to feel like a chore. And it was starting to feel a bit like a chore, so I needed a break, and I'm back. So the break was much needed. Just a whole life break, reset. You know, I finished summer school. I'm on summer break. Y'all know I'm a teacher, so yeah, I'm on vacation, so we outside. So, you know, the videos are late, it's because we outside. But like I said, I needed the break. Anyway, that's not what we came here for. So, since we were talking about Love and Marriage Huntsville, I don't think I spoke to y'all since Kiki passed away. So I do send my condolences to Kiki Jabbar. I think she was 42 years old. She passed away. All of you, I'm sure, know by now. They said she was found in her car allegedly. The speculation, some people said the car was running, some people said it wasn't running. I don't know. They're saying that she passed away of carbon dioxide poisoning because, you know, you leave the car running in the garage and the doors closed. That can definitely destroy you. So my condolences for sure to their whole family, Kiki's husband, her kids, her parents, the Scotts, all the family, right? All of the family. Um, I put on Twitter like I still can't believe Kiki passed away. Like that was so shocking. When I saw that, I was like, what? Like that was like very, very shocking news. Very shocking. Very unbelievable. Like I still can't believe it. Um, I thought about posting in the community tab about it, but to be honest with y'all, I just didn't feel comfortable because I know for me, like I wore Kiki out week after week on YouTube. Okay, I wore her out on these videos. Like I was one of the people who didn't see it for Kiki, and I'm not trying to speak ill of the dead or anything like that. I'm just being honest. Like I never saw it for Kiki. Okay, I didn't like how she came on the show. I didn't like when she poured the drink in Tisha's face. I didn't like none of the stuff she was doing on the show. Did I think she had a great story to tell if she was allowed to tell that story? Yes. Did she have a good comeback story going on? Yes. Could we have gotten some different things from her? Definitely. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see those other things being told, right? Um, So I just didn't feel comfortable making a like, oh, Kiki post. Like, of course it sucks and I'm sad she passed away. But at the same time, I can't all of a sudden be like, oh my God, like, how do I explain this? I don't want it to come off like cold, like I'm trying to be cold or mean or anything, but I'm not gonna all of a sudden act like I was a Kiki fan because she passed away. Does that make sense? Like I said, I used to work Kiki out. But however, I feel horrible that she passed away. Like that sucks. Like I feel horrible for her kids. Now they will not have a mother, her husband, like that what the family is going through at this time, that all of that just sucks. It just sucks that that happened. It's unfortunate, right? It's very unfortunate. I don't particularly like what I think it was her dad or stepdad or somebody came out and said about the show caused this on her. Like, when people pass away, people's emotions get out of control and someone has to be blamed, right? So of course the show and the people on the show are going to be the ones blamed in this case. So um it's just, the whole thing sucks. And that's all I'm going to say about it. The whole thing sucks. But rest in peace, Kiki. I definitely offer my condolences. And at the end of the day, Kiki's human and she deserves grace and mercy just like the rest of us. Just, despite everything she did, I may not have liked, but she definitely deserves grace and mercy. And I hope she is resting peacefully. Okay. Um, Something else I was gonna tell y'all. Guess that was it. Oh, I know what I was gonna talk about before we get into the episode. um And if y'all just want to get to the review, you can fast forward, but I would appreciate if you watch the whole video all the way up and through. Thank you. I was gonna say, I feel like this because I love Marriage Huntsville got a lot to it. Like it started out being one thing and it's turned into another thing. The fans are crazy. It's kind of dark. They're trying to get back to the light, but it's very much still dark. And then now Kiki passing away. I don't know. It feels like the beginning of the end of the show for me. Y'all let me know if y'all agree in the comments. Does this feel like, and I'm not saying just because Kiki passed away, it's already kind of before that happened felt like the beginning of the end of the show. I think it's about to be time to wrap it up. I'm sorry, Carlos. I know this show is probably keeping the lights on their own, but it might be getting time to wrap it up. Like I don't know where else we can go, Now, I will say some of these new storylines, we might need to get into them, but I don't know. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments, though. What direction do you think the show can continue to go in? Do you think it's the beginning of the end? Let me know what y'all think in the comments. Okay, anyway, enough of that. Let's talk about this episode. So, this episode starts off with Chris and Nell. Nell goes to visit Chris at his real estate office. And she in there looking distraught and used and abused because them kids are taking advantage of her and they just keep asking for money. And she said that she has stuff they need to do. They can't live the life they want to live because they keep giving out money and it's taking a toll on her. And she's like asking Chris, like, can't you look at me and tell something going on, something different? Of course, he lied and said, yeah, I could tell. I know you, of course. And he's telling her next time, don't hold this all in, come to me, whatever it is, I'll handle it. And she said, okay, I'm gonna have you handling it. And I don't feel no sorry for Miss Nell. Okay, as Funky Dot even said the other day, I don't feel no waste time. I don't feel sorry for Miss Nell. I don't care. Girl, if you don't want to loan them kids no money, don't loan them no money. You brought this on yourself. And then you drug yourself in there looking like you really going through something. Y'all see how she was looking? She must have did less makeup or something that day because she was looking like she had been crying and everything. Girl, if you don't want to loan them kids no money, stop loaning them money. Stop enabling them because they're going to keep asking because you're going to keep saying yes. When you start saying no, 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 they're going to stop asking. That's how it works. I watched a very important member of my family. It's my grandma. I'm just going to say it. My grandma enabled every one. in our family. Okay. When it came to money. Okay. She enabled them, enabled them, enabled them, enabled them. And towards the end of her life, she would like kind of talk about it, be like, well, why do you keep enabling them? Like, you're complaining that people keep asking you for money, but you're allowing it. Like, come on. So I'm like, I've seen this before. No. And Miss Nell was trying. I first the way Miss Nell was talking, I was like, "Is y'all having a financial problem?" Because Chris wasn't acting like they was having a financial problem, but Miss Nell, you got a problem. So I was really buying it. It's very much giving a scheme and a plot set up by Todd and Carlos to bring Dr. Francis back on, which I'm fine with. Like, this is a storyline we got to use. If we got to exploit the Fletcher family to get Dr. Francis on the show, I am here for it. I do not care because I love me some Dr. Francis. So, all right, Miss Nell, they running your pockets. If this is what we got to do to get Dr. Francis on the show, I don't care. I'm here for it. Anyway, moving on. Oh, Nell and Chris briefly talked about how Chris is going to be showing the house to Sunni and Moses. And Miss Nell was like, "Oh, isn't that a conflict of interest? Like, with everything you and Destiny have been through." So I was like, "What they been through?" And so he said later on in the question that him and Destiny were really cool. She's like a little sister to him. But somebody on social media, I want to say it was Millie Sean TV, but she got it from somewhere else. Anyway, she said that I guess when Destiny wasn't getting out the house that LeBeric was trying to sell or something, and Chris had a open house and some YouTuber came through and was videotaping everything up and through Destiny's house. So I guess that's what they've been through. But that's not what Chris was talking about. But I knew it was something was going on. So that's what happened allegedly. Okay. Anyway, Chris feel like he don't owe Destiny no heads up about selling these Sunni and Moses house. He don't. I mean, he gonna sell the house regardless. Like, it don't matter. Would it be nice if he said something? Yeah. But do we have to? No. Anyway, this next scene, we get Martell and Chris Fletcher. I don't even like this scene because it felt like they were trying to be like messy and cause drama, but it felt very awkward because they're men, and you could tell Chris is not a naturally messy person. And I'm like, why did they leave these two men to make this scene? Like, it was, you could tell they were trying, and it was just not giving what needed to be given. No. So anyway, Chris comes and Martell's like, okay, so who you selling? They trying to act like they didn't know who was coming to see the house. I know they knew Sunni and Moses was coming to see the house. So Martell's like, it's Sunni and Moses. Like, Martell's not a good liar. He's not a good actor. And so then Martell's like, did you, tell, sorry, y'all, I forgot my stuff went on silent. Did you tell Destiny about this? And so Chris is like, no. And he's again saying, he don't feel like he need to check with Destiny before he sell a house. Like, he a realtor, they come to him trying to get a house, he gonna sell a house. And he don't need to check with Destiny. Now, could he give Destiny a heads up and say, hey, they're trying to move to Huntsville, just so you know, girl, if that's his girl like that, if that's his sis like that, yeah, he could do that. Do he owe her? Like, do he not do his job because of Destiny? Hell no. Business is business and BS is BS. Okay, as my grandma would say. So anywho, so Sunni and Moses come, and I seen a lot of people drag Sunni over that outfit she had on. I literally watched the episode when I got home. Did I watch it yesterday? I might have watched it yesterday. Anyway, and I rewatched it today. Or did I watch it today? Anyway, at first I was like, oh, child, what she got on? But then, you know what? The pink sweater and the pink boots was cute. It's them shorts. If she would have just did a little jean skirt or some jeans, then it would have been cute. Or a little white skirt or something. But the fact that she did them jean shorts with that sweater and them boots, it looked atrocious. And she looked sloppy. Like, the way it laid on her body wasn't cute. But that's just my opinion. I'm no, fashion police and nothing, y'all. That's just my opinion. So anywho, Sunni and Moses talking about they want to move to Huntsville because it's safer. They're both from St. Louis. They don't want to raise a kid in St. Louis. Blah blah blah. Um, they're looking to either flip a house or find a place to move. They want to start a family. Martell's like, "You pregnant? You pregnant?" She's like, "No," but they did start the IVF process at some point. I think it's when they met up with Kimmie and them. She said she started IVF before they even got married. I was like, "Oh, girl, you was desperate." Anywho, so they start talking about like the lovers and friends gala thing, and but they're talking about the price of the house. Did they say 300 something thousand? I said, "What is cheap?" Um, but you all know I'm in Cali, so it's a whole different ball game with the real estate out here. But anywho, um, but Martell said, he could work with the price. Martell got to sell that house because he needs some money. I'm sure he needs some money. Anyway, so then somehow, Chris brings up the lovers and friends gala, and Sunny was like, it was okay. Like Sunny threw, Stormi threw a good event, but I wasn't feeling it. And then Martell brings up what Destiny said, and like I said, it was like Martell and Chris were trying to be catty, but it was like so unnatural and weird feeling because they're men, and that's not like naturally them. I mean, maybe a little bit of Martell, but not Chris, So it was just felt weird to me. So Chris was like, "Oh, why you say it was just okay?" And Martell brought up the whole thing with Destiny, and so they're like, "Well, you understand how she feels, right?" And so Sunny in her forehead was like, "Yeah, I can understand how she feels. However, like when you're getting a name calling, that's when it becomes a problem." Like, girl, when did she call you a name? Well, whatever. I mean, girl, you deserve whatever you get, really. But I mean, girl, you got your prize with Moses. Destiny, don't even sweat them, girl. So they began to explain how Sunni and Moses, that is, began to explain, how they met. There was no overlap. Sorry, y'all. When it came to Moses and Destiny, Moses is like, "Yeah, I understand how Destiny feels, but she dropped the ball." Oh my gosh, ew. Moses is ew to me, and he's a nice looking man, but when he speaks, no. That Sunny, that's what you want, girl. Okay, so they were saying like, hopefully, everyone can be good, we can be positive, and Martell was saying, he's neutral, he's not picking the side, and he can see, now that they're explaining it, where they're coming from, and it seems like, you guys are meant to be, and he understands, and he was in a similar situation. I have so many thoughts about this scene and the scene behind me because what y'all not about to do, Owen and Carlos people, is now have Sunni and Moses on this like, let's move forward. I know we look foul, but everybody need to accept us and all this. Like these two scenes, the scene with Martell and Chris and this scene with the Kimmie and Maurice, I didn't need them. They could have left them on the cutting room floor. As far as I'm concerned, y'all not finna try to mind trick me and make me like, oh, okay, I can see it for Sunni and Moses. No, I don't see it for them. Do they deserve each other? Oh yeah. But no, am I gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, this it's cool. Y'all got together. There's nothing wrong with it. No. I feel like these two scenes were to make us, to push the storyline forward, make some of the cast members comfortable, play nice, and like, okay, we all good with Sunni and Moses now. No, we not. No, we not good with them now. We not. I'm not. But y'all, if y'all want to be, going to be it. Anywho, so then Chris says something to Martell, like, oh, you're not picking sides. Okay, you're not picking sides. And so Martell try to say, well, no, like I'm staying neutral, but like Moses tried to, he started messing up, then I'm team Destiny all the way. But like he started doing something to Destiny, but I'm team Destiny all the way, but I'm not picking sides. And so now they're trying to compare it to Chris trying to say with the Mel and Martell thing, that's not the same, first of all. And Martell is saying like Chris is saying, well, I try to tell you I'm neutral, like I didn't pick sides. And Martell was like, no, you heard only one side and you went with it. And so Martell feels like it's different because him and Mel have kids and it's not the same and all this stuff. So then, Sunni and Sunni and Moses, they're saying they both don't have kids. They both never got married. And so they're saying, you can't help who you fall in love with. And that's what it is and all this stuff. And so Martell's like, you know what? I understand that. Like, I wish you guys the best. Sunny's like, thank you. Like, finally, somebody said it. And Martell's like, no, I understand. Like, you can't help who you fall in love with. And I was in a similar situation, but, mine was worse and it was real bad because I was married. I was like, what? First of all, Martell, what we not going to do is compare you and Mel to Sunni and Moses. First of all, and that whole picking sides thing, because that's totally different. Like when it comes to Mel and Martell, there's a clear side to pick. When it comes to Sunni and Moses, they both wrong. Okay. Secondly, you having an affair with Coleslaw and Sunni and Moses getting together are also very much two different things. They're very much two different things. Now, was Moses and Destiny together when Sunni got with Moses? Probably. I think so. Okay. And does it look, and even if they weren't, it still looked foul. Okay. It still looks foul because at the end of the day, Sunni and Destiny were building some kind of relationship, and that was her producer. So at the end of the day, it looks foul. But Martell, you were married to somebody else, and you didn't fall in love with Coleslaw because you ain't with that lady now. Okay. So I don't think you fell in love with her. But anywho, I was like, Martell, what are you talking about? Anywho, next thing, I guess they was throwing Martell all the bones, let him get all his scenes in this episode. We didn't get no male scenes, nor Marceau and Tisha. I'm curious to know how Tisha is doing right now. The whole family, but gosh, it just sucks because side note that Tisha, and Kiki didn't get to make up before Kiki passed. So I can't imagine how Letitia feels in that regard, right? That's tough. Anywho, so Martell goes to visit. Now I don't know why the hell Martell even went to Stormi's warehouse. Like, did they say why he was there? I guess to do the scene. Anyway, Martell went to see Stormi at the warehouse. Courtney's out of town. They're getting ready to move locations, right? And so they talked about the whole, lovers and friends ball. And she was like, you supposed to, I can't believe you didn't do the event. He's like, oh, blame it on the cakes and the cookies I've been eating. I'm sure Martell's body was fine. He just didn't want to be up there. And so he was like, but you had Ken up there, you good. And then he talked about how Ken didn't like, Ken brought up Trish saying Martell acted like he didn't know her. And so Stormi was like, yeah, I'm trying to figure out what was going on because at my house, y'all was being weird. And then Martell said, in his confessional, I think he said that Trisha had been to his house a few times, but they didn't do anything. And I guess there was some interest in her, but this was before Ken. But I'm like, what is this timeline? Like, is this after you and Mel broke up? Like, what is happening here? Also, like, is this, because how long has Trish not been with that husband? Is it 4 years? I don't know. I guess it could make sense. I don't know. It didn't make sense. I don't think Trish and Martell had nothing really going on. I think Martell's just trying to, kick up some confusion and dirt because Carlos told him to. Anyway, he said nothing happened between them. And he didn't really want to get into it with Kim. So then Stormi brings up the whole arrest thing with Martell and harassing communications. And she was saying like, oh, because Martell was like, oh, you couldn't be, I was surprised Mel wasn't at the event. And then he was like, she was like, no, because she said if you were going to be there, then she wasn't going to be there. And he was like, it's funny because after I got arrested and we went to our daughter's spelling bee, and he was like, he was right here and she was right there. Like they weren't that far away apart from each other. I don't know how they're gonna do this restraining order and all that if the kids have, school things going on and events and sports. I don't know how all that's gonna work. I don't know. Yeah, that's too much. That's too much what they got going on. Anyway, or they're gonna have to choose, like, maybe, unless he's not doesn't have custody of the kids anymore. See, I don't know what's going on with all that, y'all. Y'all have to let me know in the comments. Anywho, so Stormy's like, yeah, I saw you got arrested for the communications, harassing communications. She's like, guess what? I got arrested for the same thing. So she tells him about, the person that came to their warehouse. And yes, I do know who it is. You guys don't have to tell me in the comments. Some people I had already knew, and I'm just not saying their name on here, but I know, so you guys don't have to tell me in the comments again. But thank you for telling me. But I did already know. I just don't want to say their name on my channel because I don't want any bad stuff over here. Like, it's YouTube is fun. It's not that serious for me. Anywho, so she talked about that person coming to the warehouse and how she's cursing at them, and now she's the one that got the charge because they recorded her, right? And so Martell's like, dang, that's crazy. So they're both like, dang, it's like so easy to catch that charge. I was like, yeah, Alabama don't play with that one. So Martell's like, yeah, that's crazy. And so somehow, and I'm going out of order, somehow they got on the topic of mail. And so Martell asked about, like, okay, so how's your relationship with Mel? Like, you guys are good though. And so Stormi was like, I mean, yeah, we cool, we talk. And she said, we like, when we first met, it was heck of energy, like, hey girl, hey girl, hey girl. And it was. And she's like, but then all of a sudden it stopped out of the blue. And then it was like real weird. And she was like, if you got a problem with me being friends with Destiny, then you need to just say that. Like, I'm not on some, weird stuff, but don't like try to gaslight me and play in my face and say, like, you couldn't call me or text me or your number changed and all this stuff. She was like, just be upfront and honest with me, because she's she was like, at the end of the day, I want everybody to win. You doing stuff, you doing good. I want to see you win. And she's like, just like you, Martell, like, you doing good, you building your houses. I want to see you win. Like, people be trying to play on your top, keep building your houses. I was like, oh, look at Stormi bigging up Martell. I was like, oh, Mel's not gonna like this scene. You definitely not about to be Mel's friend no more after this scene, Stormi. And when they talk about the whole millimeters and situation with the YouTuber, Martell was saying, like, Mel can't, in his confession, that Mel can't control all these people, these crazy fans. However, she could, like, speak out against it or say something. And I hate to say I agree with Martell. No, she cannot control the people, but I think she could say something on her social media to, like, make the people, like, say, hey, like, I do not support any of my fans who behave in this matter, or something to that nature. Not saying she has to, not saying she can control the fans. Of course, Beyonce can't control the Beehive. Nicki Minaj can't control her fans. Nobody can control people's irate behavior. I'm not saying that. Could she speak out against it? Yeah, she could. Does she have to? No. Anywho, I was like, them millimeters, y'all like another cast member at this point, because y'all on every episode. I hope Carlos cutting checks for y'all. Anyway, also Stormi already been growing on me this last season or so, but I really, really, really got a new respect. I already had a respect for Stormi for her business and all that. When Stormi first came on the show, I was not the biggest Stormi fan because she's giving a lot of rah, 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 rah. And what's up and all that. And I'm not hating on her speech or nothing like that. It was just the bulldog energy for Mel that I didn't like. Like, she was on the attack for Mel, real tough. The same way Destiny came in, that's how all the girls come in. And I didn't like all that. Like, she had a lot of unnecessary energy, especially towards Destiny, that I was like, girl, you don't even know her. Like, what's the problem, right? So, but I like what Stormi said when it came to Mel. Like, if you got an issue with me being friends with Destiny, like, just say that. And I was glad that Stormi finally said what it was. Because when we saw these scenes with Stormi and Mel talking before Lovers and Friends Ball, I was like, I couldn't gauge Stormi because, like, well, didn't y'all just have a thing, and the reunion, it was a thing with Stormi mom and all that. So I wasn't sure where Stormi and Mel really stood. So I was glad that Stormi finally said, like, what it was, and Like the kids say, she stood on business about it. So that gave me a new respect for her because Stormi is not on here trying to fight Mel's battles anymore. She not on here trying to kiss Mel's ass and all that. And I don't mean that in no shady way towards Mel. I don't want nobody taking it no way. I just didn't like how Stormi initially came on the show. And I feel like she is her own. She's really like made her own name on the show, and I appreciate that. And we're getting more of the real her, I feel like, than we did in the beginning, right? Um, anyway, moving on, we get this scene behind me. Like I said, it was a waste. And it went on way too long. Like they actually had a commercial break with Kimmie and Marcel meeting up with Sunni and Moses. Sunni said she wanted to meet with Kimmie and really talk without Tisha being there. Like, girl, bye. Kimmie said something about Destiny wanted to buy or possibly rent out a office space, and she's like, I don't know how Destiny's going to feel about me meeting up with Sunni because Destiny's my friend, but it's not like we've been friends a long time. To me, it's just getting very weird. Sunni and Moses were talking about how they both from St. Louis, how they want to move to Huntsville. Kimmie is like, isn't that, rubbing a little salt in the wound? And so Moses and Sunni both think, oh, no, it should be fine. Like, we're all adults. We should be able to live here. They said they're not familiar with the North Huntsville area. Maurice said, as much, better and safer than like St. Louis and like where he grew up in Pontiac, Michigan. And so he was saying, it was rough out there. They had 9 kids total. And it would be good when the dad was in the house. And when dad would go to jail, that it, was rough. They didn't have no money. It was a struggle. He moved to Huntsville down there when he went to A&M to the South. And that's kind of how he got out. But he said a lot of his friends, passed away. It's just him left basically. And Moses, he had a very rough childhood in St. Louis. He's pretty much raised by his grandmas, all these people in the house. He went to jail quite a few times. I think he said he did 15 years total. The last bit he did was 8 years. And then I guess his grandma left him the house, so he always owned the house since he was like 19. And he's not into real estate, but he's into like buying houses or flipping houses or something like that. I think he has a truck as well. And so they're just saying how their family are from similar areas, Sunni and Moses, and Kimmie and Maurice, or Maurice feels like, they're evenly yoked. And he says something in the commercial about Sunni. Now that Scott thing came out when he was talking. You know how them Scots talk. Them Scott brothers talking. He said something about Sunni is the leader in the relationship, and rightfully so, because Moses hasn't made the best decisions and all this stuff. I'm like, what is you talking about, sir? Anyway, Kimmie is like, I feel like, we could try to move forward and I want to help bridge the gap. I guess she wants to try to make it where everybody can hang out with like Sunni and Moses there and Destiny there. Is that what you're trying to do, Kimmie? Because I don't see that working out, girl. And I don't even feel like that's a good idea. And I don't feel like you need to even be in it like that, but you ain't doing nothing else on the show. So go on and I guess bring the girls together, girl. So she's talking about she having an event and there's supposed to be a tasting so she could possibly invite them and, take baby steps. And she feels like, this could look all messy and all that, but she feels like Sunni was the one that was there for her when she got cancer, and she reached out to her and befriended her and other people didn't, and all this stuff. And I mean, I get where Kimmie's coming from. Like, you ain't got to hate Sunni just because of the situation. But again, this is another scene where they're trying to make us feel comfortable with Sunni and Moses here, and I don't feel comfortable. I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable. And I feel like they used Kimmie and Maurice to try to neutralize the audience, right? Because most people, well, not so much now, but for majority, people have always liked Kimmie for sure. And tolerated Maurice, but not as much after some things he said. But you know what I mean? So they're like, okay, if Kimmie can get on with it, then we can get everybody on with it. But no, it don't work like that. It don't work like that. But y'all let me know what y'all think. Anyway, moving on. That scene went on way too long for me. I don't care what Sunni and Moses got going on. they doing the IVF and all that, and Maurice said it's good they're doing it in St. Louis because the whole abortion laws in Alabama and all that. I don't need Sunni and Moses on my TV. Don't need it. Anyway, moving on. Last scene. We get the Fletchers. So the Fletchers, what's her name? Miss Nell is cooking up that lasagna. She said she wanted more onions than the meat. I was confused. Anyway, they invited all the kids over. Where is Chris's daughter? That went off on social media. I can't think of her name. She wasn't invited to the dinner. She probably wasn't coming though. So they invited all the kids, they said, including Kiki. So Kiki is the niece, right? So then now it's like, so what's her name? What's his name? Lil Chris got a job. And so they congratulated on him. So Miss Nell's like, that's what I want to talk to y'all about. Like, y'all call unless nothing going on. And, y'all, we got to set a boundary and y'all getting cut off and you can't ask for nothing else. And if it's the grandkids, okay, I'll help them out. But other than that, like, don't ask me for any more money. Like, you guys need to pay the money back. Like, we have things we're trying to do and we can't do them because y'all not paying us money back. Y'all just take. Again, I don't feel sorry for you, Miss Nell. Say no. You don't even need to have this discussion. Just say no. They're grown adults. And I'm not saying that parents can't help their grown adults. Of course you can help your grown adults. Of course you can. But you could put stipulations on how you help them. You could say, hey, you got to pay me back. You could do it, or you're not going to get help ever again. You could set a boundary. If someone you feel like you're being really taken advantage of, you could set some boundaries. Okay. If you really wanted to set boundaries, you could, right? I feel like people like Miss Nell who like to give money out, it's just a way to control. Okay. And manipulate. And a way to keep the people kind of close to you in a way. Anyway, like I said, I don't feel sorry for Miss Nell. You ain't going through it, girl. Anyway, then Kiki started crying because she feels like, she has her kid and she don't have nobody else, and it's the only family they got. She don't have a mom and a dad at the end of the day. Because I guess Miss Nell had named her like Lance's grandkids as her grandkids, but she didn't name Kiki's kid, and so that's where Kiki got emotional. And the Fletcher said that, they understand because Kiki, at the end of the day, like, her parents are alive, but they're not really in the picture. I would love to know what the hell's going on with that. Where is Kiki's parents? Why aren't y'all caring for y'all child? I mean, she's grown now, but why haven't y'all been in this lady's life? And so they were like, we've been mom and dad to her, but we're also aunt and uncle at the end of the day. So I'm sure she's in a weird space. So they're like, we got to be gentle with her. And she's like, no, like she's crying. She's like, it's my own thing to figure out and worry about, but I don't have anybody else. And you said that because, like, she's like, I know you didn't say it to hurt me. And Miss Nell did apologize because she's like, I wasn't trying to say it like that. But Kiki's like, at the end of the day, like, that's what it is. Like, technically, I'm not your daughter. Like, my child is not your grandchild. I felt bad for Kiki, though. Like, and I saw somebody on Twitter, or people on Twitter saying, like, oh, this girl lady crying because she's not going to get help. That's not why she was crying, in my opinion. She was crying because of the whole, like, at the end of the day, she don't have her real parents. And then now the people she consider her parents are saying, like, okay, we're not going to help you anymore. I think it's not so much about the help as that she already felt like she didn't have anybody. So them saying that just, like, piled it on, right? I think it's more about her not having her parents around, right? So anyway. Then I think Chris brings up them doing counseling and then meeting with Dr. Francis, and somebody was chuckling. And Ms. Nell's like, I see how he works. Like, he be getting to it. And so they're going to have like family group therapy. Little Chris wants to do his own therapy sessions, which I think would be good for him. And Ms. Nell told him, like, yeah, that would be good because you be, depressed and going through. And so then they were telling Miss Nell, like, you and Kiki definitely need to, like, work out y'all dynamics. And like Miss Nell, telling Miss Nell she needs to have individual therapy. See, she said she not doing the therapy. She definitely not doing the individual therapy. She said she not going to do it. And that's pretty much where it ended. And it looked like she about to cut up at the therapy session next week. I was like, Miss Nell, you the number one person there to need that therapy. Because why can't you set a boundary? And then you gonna complain, but you won't set a boundary. Like, you definitely need the therapy. The whole family do need it. And I hope to God they have Chris Fletcher's daughter there, because we definitely need to work that out. But I'm excited for next week. I'm gonna try to, live tweet and be on time with y'all next week, because next week look good, because we're gonna have Dr. Francis. He finna get all up and through the Fletcher's mess. And we gonna have Trisha's ex-husband. So hopefully we can get some concrete answers going on, y'all. And he looked different than I pictured him to look. Was it just me? But he looked very different than I pictured him to look. Anyway, y'all let me know what y'all thought of this episode. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Yes, we will be catching up, so keep your bell notifications turned on so you don't miss any of the videos as we play catch up. I'll talk to y'all again soon. Bye.